Hey guys, how's it going? Hope you guys doing all great and all safe. 락다운이 또 생각보다 길어지고 있는데 그래도 너무 좀 디프레스 되거나 너무 워리 하지 말고 하나님께서 우리와 함께 해주실 거니까 걱정하지 말고 또 특히 VC 준비하는 우리 10학년 친구들, 11학년 친구들도 계속 공부 열심히 했으면 좋겠고 또 비록 생각보다 내가 생각했던 것보다 우리가 빨리 만나진 못하고 있지만 그래도 꼭 같이 만나서 또 예배할 수 있는 그 시간들과 또 같이 더 재밌는 시간들 보낼 생각으로 계속해서 잘 버텨내고 또 계속해서 예배로 삶을 잘 채워 나갔으면 좋겠어. 자, 오늘의 말씀 같이 봅시다. 오늘의 말씀은 이사야서 65장 11절부터 14절까지 말씀입니다. It's Isaiah chapter 65 verse 11 to 14. 자, 우리가 한 목소리로 읽어봅시다. 시작. 오직 나 여호와를 버리며 나의 성산을 잊고 가색에 상을 베풀며 무니에게 섞은 술을 가득히 붓는 너희여, 내가 너희를 칼에 붙일 것인즉 다 굽으리고 죽임을 당하리니 이는 내가 불러도 너희가 대답하지 아니하며 내가 말하여도 듣지 아니하고 나의 눈에 악을 행하였으며 내가 즐겨하지 않은 일을 택하였음이니라. 이러므로 주 여호와께서 이와 같이 말씀하시니라. 보라, 나의 종들은 먹을 것이로되 너희는 줄일 것이니라. 보라, 나의 종들은 마실 것이로되 너희는 갈할 것이니라. 보라, 나의 종들은 기뻐할 것이로되 너희는 수치를 당할 것이니라. 보라, 나의 종들은 마음이 즐거움으로 노래할 것이로되 너희는 마음이 슬픔으로 울며 심령이 상함으로 통곡할 것이며. 아멘. Alright, we just read out quite a long verses, right? And I'm pretty sure you have no idea with this book of Isaiah and any context of these verses on the background. 사실 이 이사야서가 뭐 흔히 볼 수 있는 뭐 말씀은 아니었지, 그렇지? 그래서 특별히 또 락다운 기간에 이렇게 좀 새로운 말씀도 보면서 또 새로운 챕터도 보면서 이런 내용도 있구나, 성경에서 이런 말씀도 있구나 같이 봤으면 좋겠어. So anyway, first, this book of Isaiah is the time when ancient Israel has lost in war and everything went a nightmare. So half of the land already collapsed and most of Israelites has been dragged out as a slavery. So no king anymore, no army, it's just full of despair. They thought they are such a royal blood as a people of God. So they are a greater, holy and precious nation in the name of Yahweh. But now, anyway, they got invaded and started to lose their purity. For invaders were doing whatever they want to on their land, right? So they changed the law. They made cults over all places, and they educate their own language, culture, and whatever else. Obviously, the identity of people of God has been deemed, so it just went full chaos in faith-wise as well. So some Israelites just gave up holding the title people of God, and some just kind of put them in the middle of between assimilate into others or keep living as God's people like before. And some just fight hard to stay still as people of God as well. At this point, Isaiah the prophet speaks out his word that comes from God to people. And this is the background of the book of Isaiah. So after this people of God has fallen, they screamed out how God let them be abandoned and be slavery of other. What is God doing while all these tragedies happen, right? 어떻게 하나님 이런 일이 일어나게 두실 수 있어요? 하나님 왜 이런 일들이 일어나는데 우리를 버려두고 가만히 있어요? 도대체 뭐 하고 계세요? 라고 말하기 시작했어. And then verses we read are how God answers to them, right? We read out verse 11 to 14, right? But on the verse 1 to 2, God says, I never left you away. It is you who left away from me. Always my arms were open. Always my voice was look for you, but you never find me out. Well, it was quite true because people were doing what God told them to do, but they just have done it formally and such hypocritically, right? So they were like, yeah, I've done Sunday worship, yeah, I've read a bit of Bible, yeah, great, I'm holy enough. But their life was never holy, never with God, and just pretend they worship. So God was watching what they do in their life for a whole time. But the people of God was doing pretty much same as who don't know about God. So who is not a believer of God. All they did were pretend to do worship, and they think think they are the people of God, so they are great and they are holy, that God will protect whatever they do. However, God knows their hearts inside, right? 하나님을 믿는다고 그렇게 프라이드를 가지고 또 나는 홀리하다, 깨끗하다 막 이런 사람들이라고 하면서 막 예배드리고 하나님과 함께하는 사람들이라고 그렇게 말을 하면서 they were not even try to be with God in their life. So none of their life was holy. None of their heart was faithful in God. Even when they fight against invaders, even when they lost, even when all of them were dragging out as a slavery, never once in life they hold to stay in God and they hold to worship in God. And they say, where is God? What is God doing now? And God is like, I've never been away from you. Then verse 11 to 14, which we read out together, God says, only my servants will be saved and will remain when I wipe out all those invaders. It is interesting that this is the message from God speaking to all the people of God, right? But if you read these verses again, God defines these people of God in two groups. One is you, 너희라고 부르는 그룹이 있고, and another one is my servants, 나의 종이라고 부르는 그룹이 있어. Insane people of God. Which means, even though you say you are the people of God, if you are not a one of my servants, you will be wiped out with those invaders too. And you know what? This wipe out cleaning season hasn't come yet. This is not just a past history, but it is still upcoming event. If so, how do you think yourself? How would God say to you? 그래도 하나님의 종이 어떻게 되는지는 알려줘야 알던 뭐 하던 말던 하죠. 뭐 하나님의 종이 누구인데요? I'll tell you who is the servant of God. 혹시 너네 MBTI가 뭔지 알아? It's like a personality test. 그래서 뭐 MBTI 테스트라는 거를 하면은 it tells you which type of person you are among 16 types of people. Well, but compares to 6 billion of people in the world, 16 types are just so less, right? But it still works because it can't be 100% right, but still there is a common point that each type of people can be grouped. So just like that, not all of people of God is same. We all have different contexts. We all have different situations, different problem, different culture. But still, the servant of God has common point that they all do same. 우리 같이 11절을 한번 읽어봅시다. 11절 말씀 같이 읽어봅시다. 시작. 오직 나 여호와를 버리며 나의 성산을 잊고 가색의 상을 베풀며 무니에게 섞은 술을 가득히 따르는 너희여. God already told us definition who is not the servant of God. I'll summarize it clean, okay? So first, if you lost his holy mountain, you are not the servant of God. The holy mountain of God means to worship, but it's more than about the place. It is about life. If you lost your worship in life, you are same as others who doesn't believe in God. Second, if you pursued for fortune or destiny, you are not the servant of God. Fortune and destiny is an idol, fake God in that age, So if you pursue something that is not about God, but it's like fake God, like counterfeit God, like money, fame, successfulness, whatever that is not from God, you are same as unbelievers. Doesn't matter who you are, doesn't matter where you're at, doesn't matter what you do, doesn't matter in what circumstances you're at. If you don't have worship in your life, and if you pursue something else instead of God, then you are not the one who will have a salvation, and you are not the one who will be entered into heaven, the God's kingdom, and who will enjoy that presence of God right now. When God wipes out everyone who does not belong to God, but belongs to this world, how will you prove that you are the servant of God? 하나님 앞에 나중에 서면은 뭐라고 할 거야? I go to the church on Sunday. I do have a Bible. I do believe in Jesus Christ. Then God will say, oh yeah? Prove it with your life. If so, what life will you show him? 코로나 때문에 예배드리기 너무 어려워서 그렇죠. Well, God knows that. We all have put in this same COVID situation, but it doesn't matter if it is COVID or if it's just a simple cold. Only the matter is that if so, are you still worshiping God in your life? Are you still on pursuit about God? 사실 이 코로나 때문에 락다운이 걸렸다가 풀렸다가 이제 6번째 이제 되니까 나도 점점 지루해지고 텐션도 떨어지고 힘들더라고. 근데 그 모든 상황 속에서 하나님을 생각하고 하나님을 예배하고 하나님께 기도한다면 하나님께서 우리에게 말해주실 거야. 너는 나의 종이야. You are the true people of mine. You are the true servant of mine. So keep up your worship in your place. Keep up your eyes on God and keep your life stand in God in whatever circumstances come. I hope you all be the servant of God and not be the slavery of this world. 그래서 계속해서 기도로 이겨내고 하나님을 생각하는 너희 모두가 되기를 바랄게. 막 애매하게 교회 다니는 것 같으면서도 막 세상에 있는 그런 사람들이 아니라 하나님의 종, 하나님과 함께 있는 사람 되기를 우리 모두가 그런 사람 되기를 바라겠습니다. 기도하겠습니다. 하나님 아버지 감사합니다. Thanks God that you're still watching on us. And thanks God that you still hold my life through all these times. 코로나 때문에 예배를 못하는 그런 연약한 믿음, 또 눈에 보이는 다른 세상의 좋은 것들 때문에 하나님을 바라보지 못하는 그런 가짜 믿음이 아니라 코로나가 있을지라도 하나님을 예배하는 진짜 강한 믿음, 다른 어떤 것이 눈에 보여도 하나님을 바라보기 원하는 그런 진짜 믿음을 가질 수 있는 내가 될 수 있도록 주님 인도하여 주시옵소서. I want to be the servant of God, not the slavery of this world. So God, please lead my life and help my life to stay with you and stay in the presence of you. Don't let us be away from you, and please hold our arms and please embrace us, even though we are not even perfect, even though we mistake a lot. Please forgive us, and please, whenever we repent and whenever we hold tight in you, take us as your people. We all want to be a true people of God, true people of Christianity, to be a true Christian. 늘 우리와 함께 하시고 우리를 도와주시는 예수님의 이름으로 기도드립니다. 아멘. 이 락다운이 또 언제 끝나게 될지는 모르지만 어찌됐든 빨리 끝나서 같이 또 예배하고 좋은 시간 만들어 갈 수 있으면 좋겠고, 또 락다운이 길어져도 끝까지 집중해서 수업 잘 들었으면 좋겠어. 나도 대학교 수업을 줌으로 들어봤는데 와 진짜 너무 못 듣겠더라고요. It's really hard to concentrate, right? But still, don't lose your life away from God, and don't lose your worship, and don't lose your sight away from God, alright? 이 모든 시간들 속에서도 끝까지 하나님의 사람으로 남아있는 여러분 되기를 바라요. 그러면은 우리는 다음에 또 만납시다.